r/AskReddit, NSFW, what unexpectedly turned you on? A girl I was friends with had apparently been giving me hints for a while that I hadn't been picking up on. One time we are hanging out and she goes to take a pee. She yells at me from the bathroom to come here. I walk up to the door and ask her what she needs. With no hesitation she says, "Come in here. I want you to watch me pee." Unexpected turn on for some reason. Well, did you? Indeed I did. She was gorgeous. Also had lots of mental issues though, so we didn't last long together. Older women who give off dom mommy vibes. Once had an older woman with that short silver fox haircut and a stronger jaw call me a good girl while I was at work because I did something right with her order that nobody else could for some reason. I'm a relatively straight female. Or am I? Well fuck. IDK. I wouldn't consider myself submissive, but if an older woman exerts any type of dominance or power I will immediately get a ladder. When I was at the airport and had like 20k knock in cash and wanted to exchange it to euro. It took me a long time to count, but this bank woman at the airport just took my money and did some magic with her fingers that went so fast I couldn't believe it, and she knew within seconds how much money I gave her. But more than that, the whole way she acted with the whole transaction was so unbelievable professional. I have never experienced anything like that level of professionalism in my entire life. How could I not be turned on by the most pro woman I have ever seen? That scene in GoldenEye where Xenia on a top squeezes that guy to death awoke something in me at a very young age. She always did like a good squeeze. The first time I used a riding lawnmower when I was like 12, all the vibrating gave me a raging hard on. To this day whenever I use one to mow I get at least half a stock. Bite my earlobe. It was great until my cat apparently figured it out and now it's how she wakes me up. Cats have selective IQ. I accidentally Pavloved myself. There used to be this porn I watched with two chicks in it that had no audio other than music by Disturbed. Years later Disturbed came on the radio. I instantly got turned on. Was so confused for like 10 seconds. A pre-med student explaining to me the anatomy of the nasal conky while touching my face. Late to the party but whatever. Being in my tent. Like, I don't even know. When I'm camping and I retire to my tent, slip into my sleeping bag and zip up the little tent door. I have no idea, but apparently that really does it for me. What a strangely pure fetish, lol. So popping a tent pops a tent? LOL. Coming down off a DMT trip, and there is no easy way to say this. I masturbated thinking about my bedroom door. You know what they say, whenever one door opens someone comes through it. I was in Japan and had a crush on a woman from South France. Returned to the US, in line for fast food, and I hear a woman behind me speaking with a southern French accent. Popped a boner in line for a slice of pizza. The flatbread at Subway suddenly seemed very sensual and seemed to have a skin-like texture. It quickly passed and was replaced with WTF. Hey, a lot of people have a sub-kink. Admittedly, a tad different from yours usually. This guy I was seeing called customer service to get a company error corrected. He used the softest, firmest, most understanding tone I've ever heard and I lost my damn mind. My friend will look me in the eye when I'm talking to him and like raises eyebrows and shits to show he's listening, and goddamn is it hot. Maybe it's a female stereotype, but good listeners are hot lamfeo. I get it. I have a friend who does the same and it's incredible to feel like you're the most important person in the world to them, even if just for a moment. Go on. The fact that the guy I like likes to be insulted. You like that? You fucking retard. My fiance makes this sound when he's turned on by something I'm doing that he's looking at on me, but it can be a problem sometimes because he sometimes uses the same sound when he sees like an ad for food that looks really good. Is it the deep growl thing in his throat chest? It's the Tim Allen grunt. Don't focus on it being the same noise he makes for food. You're triggering a primal response. Winking face. He probably thinks you're a snack. First off, I'm a guy, so my high school had a darkroom for a black and white film photography program. I was the only boy in the course. There were about 10-15 girls in the class. I was pretty good. and by my junior year, I had been involved in the program longer than any other student. Having so much experience led to me being a good place to go for advice on printing their photos. I would go to their station to figure things out, and the same 3 friends of mine, that were girls, in that class, would come up behind me and rest their chin on my right shoulder, and that would always wake me up. I never expected something like that to send goosebumps up and down my body and warrant a reaction downstairs, but it happened, and I took it in stride from then on. Scaring people at my haunted house job. Was in bed with my girlfriend and the remote was at the end of the bed. I sit up and basically lazily reach for it on all fours. I'm in some boxer briefs that have a pouch-like thing for your junk, so when I bent over, my ball bulge was pretty much in her face. She just playfully punched me in the balls and it hurt and stung, but I almost instantly got hard. I'm now laying on my back holding my balls in protection. She can see the outline of my obvious boner though and starts laughing confusedly. She volunteered to blow me as an apology, and since I was already hard, I asked her to tap my balls a little throughout and I nutted harder than ever. Basically now all of our foreplay commences with light ball busting. A couple years back, my girlfriend at the time and I used to have sex while Pandora played. Every once in a while a car insurance commercial would play in the middle of songs. We laughed it off, but it didn't distract us from doing the deed. Fast forward a couple years forward and I hear that same car insurance commercial. Instant erection. Paging Dr. Pavlov. There was a girl I worked with who kind of got on my nerves a lot. Then one day she started going on about how much she loves bats, and I instantly wanted her. The juxtaposition of basic bitch and weird obsession with an unusual animal really did it for me. Edit. She wasn't annoying for being basic. She was annoying because she was super egotistical. Although in retrospect I think she was just way more socially awkward than I initially gave her credit for. I encourage all people to indulge in whatever fashions or seasonally flavored beverages they please. When I worked in a pharmacy as a stocker, once I spilled some of that warming lube on myself as a bottle had cracked open in transit and why did I get turned on? It's unexplainable, but it happened. I bought some after I clocked out. So when I was in my early teens and just discovering sex, I decided that since I was a bit of an artist, I could draw porn for myself. I started with a vag and that was all well and good, but then I decided to try a dick and suddenly sprung. I was not expecting that in the slightest. Paint me like one of your oppressed tendencies. My wife doesn't really ever swear, except when we are doing the deed. Then she throws around F-bombs freely. One day she kicked the corner of the table and screamed out aloud "Fuck." I had a Pavlovian response in my shorts. 12 years ago my wife said "fuck me" like you paid for it. I still think about that. Really makes you think. Wait, how much did I pay? This one's my favorite. My girlfriend, when she picked up a knife, didn't expect that one. Edit. To be clear, it was a normal butter knife and we were at dinner. She just happened to lick something off the blade and suddenly I was pitching a tent. She in no way was attempting to murder me. Had me worried for a second. Physical therapy. A no bullshit Indian lady is working on my neck. I start to droop my head. She unceremoniously yanks me back into position. Keep your head up. Damn. Yes, mistress. A friend told me she had a being choked fetish while we were Black Friday shopping. So, obviously, I jokingly choked her in the middle of a crowded Target. Almost nutting at 11:27 PM in the middle of a Target is how I discovered I like choking. ETA, I am female. Still like choking people. First time a girl told me she wanted to be choked, and that pure look of her being aroused by my power over her made me realize I very much like control, and changed me forever lol. My ex would fucking melt when I choked her, like wide-eyed, intense arousal, and all of a sudden her kisses were just so soft and supple. Sometimes I choked her not just because I liked it, but so I could get her to kiss me like that. I too am a changed man. An ex-boyfriend lecturing me about money. I don't think it was the context, just the way he did it. Like a stern father. He did a lot of things in a stern disapproving dad way and IDK it was hot. I guess this means I have daddy issues IDK. In modern times it seems like daddy issues, but it basically is your brain saying he sounds like a dad when he does this. He would make a good dad. I should make him a dad. I should mate with him. Or something along those lines. I wouldn't worry about. Edit. Thank you for the silver. Kind stranger. When my husband looks back when he's backing in the car. Same. You leave her husband alone. You hussy. Edit. Thank you for the precious metals. My former professor took job as copywriter for the education system in our company, so I write the technical stuff, send it to him and he'll make it nice to read. First time I read his work on my text, I was amazed by how well he understood what I meant and made it so much better, and I got wet. I still sometimes think about certain paragraphs when masturbating. Edit. Holy smokes, this blew up. Thanks guys. For those who'd like to see the infamous paragraphs, the text is all in check and is all about printing machines the company uses. He just really nicely explained how UV print works. Whoa, that's fucking hilarious. And the guy is probably walking around with no idea he has this superpower. I don't know, he just gets me. This is unexpectedly hot. When my significant other jokingly bit my butt, I was lying naked on the bed after a shower and he straight up bit my butt cheek as a joke and dang, it did things. Taking a Greek mythology course and a curvy redhead, said if you want to talk about mythology for hours on end, I'm your girl. This comment did it for me. It's spreading. Dear God. Driving off cliffs in video games. Falling in them in general. Also those videos of people jumping around on very high ledges and buildings. Finally something just plain fucking weird. Enough of the wholesome stuff. Now this is the sort of weird shit that brought me to this thread. Brief eye contact with my tattoo artist while he was tattooing me. Edit. Added a word to clarify. Also I didn't think this needed to be said, but obviously the needle wasn't touching my skin at that moment. LOL, no worries y'all. All the tattoos he's done for me have been great. Someone acting out of character. So a shy guy suddenly being aggressive or a loud dude being quiet in a situation that might call for it. So like a big loud dude being soft towards a cat or a quiet dude defending someone in a fight. Edit. WHOMST is paying money to gold this. Once my very quiet and innocent friend who never curses said bitch and I've never been the same since.